A cop in Texas lost his job after he got drunk, went behind the wheel, and opened fire at a local church. Somerville County Sheriff's Deputy William Cox is the individual who did lose his job. And
appropriate name.
Interesting component to this story is that all criminal charges against him have been dropped. So he's not facing any criminal charges, but he did lose his job. Now, here's a local news report from a Fox affiliate, KDFW, where they explain why he did what he did. Take a look.
Man, I'm sorry.
William Cox was a Somerville County Sheriff's deputy July 13th when he was crying and appeared drunk in the parking lot of an Ellis County church early in the morning. Ovilla officers responding to a 911 call for shots fired. This is Ovilla police body cam. Cox tells the officer.
Because my boys are getting killed in Dallas.
The deputy referring to the ambush attack that killed 5 officers July 7th in Dallas.
The black coats started killing our boys in Dallas.
The Ovilla officer detains Cox, putting him in handcuffs until a sheriff's deputy arrived. Cox confessed he was upset over the police ambush, got very drunk, and had to let off stress. His stress relief was to fire guns in a residential neighborhood in the parking lot of the Shiloh Cumberland Presbyterian Church.
Yeah, there's 3 shots here.
Church's pastor, Vernon Sansom, can be heard on the Ellis County deputy's recording. There was damage in the sanctuary of the church, where some of Cox's relatives are longtime members. Cox charged with deadly conduct and taken to Ellis County Jail. The same day Cox was arrested, the pastor signed what's called an affidavit of non-prosecution. Cox was released from jail the next day, never having to post bail. This was Cox when he was taken into custody. And this is the jail bookend photo of William Cox we received in open records request. A photograph of a brick wall. No picture of Cox, who once worked as a jailer in Ellis County.
I mean, that's a little questionable to say the least, right? Apparently, when he was getting arrested, he also said, the black coon start killing my boys.
Yeah, that's the one where the local news said, unintelligible, start killing my boys. No, it was intelligible. You could hear it. He said the black coon.
Yeah. And also officers found a .38 caliber revolver, his service gun, and 28 bullet casings in his car. So, look, he has issues. He has severe issues. The pastor decided to drop charges or not pursue charges against him. Look, I'm glad he lost his job. I'm really relieved about that. I don't know if I want him in prison. I mean, he potentially could have killed people doing what he did, right? Yeah. But I wish that the same type of compassion was used for other people, not just cops.
So let's break this down a little bit. First, it sounded like it was a fun story. Cop loses, they said, half his clothes. When we were talking about this in the production meeting in the morning, John Idarola asked, which half? So it could have been worse. And then he's, yelling and screaming in front of a church. Now, but then it gets super dark. First of all, he's firing into a church. Could have killed people.
Yep.
It couldn't be any more serious. Second of all, when it got racial with the black coons killed my boys, we're like, oh, Jesus, this story's nothing near fun. It's a disastrous story. So then we looked into the church because we were wondering if he was firing into a black church, right?
No. His
and it
relatives
turns out,
go there and...
No, it turns out, no, not at all. It's a white church, okay? The pastor's white. There's nothing racial about the church at all. He's just a dumbass drunk who got drunk and started firing into this local church. Now, that doesn't make it any better. He still could have killed people.
Yeah.
It's the same bullets either way. And so, but I guess that, there's maybe a little like, it wasn't as malicious. Like if he's doing racial slurs and then firing into a black church, then you worry that it's like he meant to kill people. In this case, he's just thinking maybe he's a dumbass drunk. Either way, though, if anyone else was firing bullets into the church for whatever reason, and they weren't already a cop, they're going to get arrested. And they're going to serve some serious time.
Yeah, they are. And so, look, I watched that, and what he did was horrible, right? And I'm not making any excuses for it whatsoever. But he has some mental health issues, right? And there's that compassionate, empathetic part of me that's like, he shouldn't be a cop, and I'm glad he's not a cop anymore, okay? but he's got problems and he needs help more than anything else. But again, I want that same type of compassion for everyone else who's in a similar situation, right? I don't know if he knows any of those Dallas cops. He's obviously very distraught about what happened, which is understandable. He's a cop himself, and the area they're in is only 20 miles outside of Dallas. But with that said, look, it's not an excuse. It just means he needs help. He needs to be forced to get mental health care.
So, as we always say on the show, all we want is same treatment for everybody.